In India, one of many stories from India this week, there was a an attempted, apparently an attempted bombing. There was a man named Mohammed Sharik was traveling in an auto rickshaw with a cooker, kind of like I suspect the pressure cookers that the Boston Marathon bombers used, and it exploded in Mangaluru, injuring him and the driver. Police are treating this like an act of terror, and this Mohammed Sharik is being actually quite forthright about what he was up to. And do you know, David, who he said had inspired him to do this? Who do you think it might have
Donald
been?
Donald Trump. Kanye.
Those are good guesses. You ready? You give up?
I give up.
Zakir Naik.
Oh, wow, interesting.
Yep. As it happens, Zakir had just tweeted a few hours before a video about suicide bombing. Is suicide bombing allowed in Islam? And this is being connected to this incident, that it may be that this fellow watched this and decided to go right out and do it. Out of India, Aftab Amin Poonawalla. Very famous story now. Happened, I believe we talked about it last week, that he had killed his Hindu girlfriend, cut her body into pieces, and so on. And he was questioned by police the other day, and they said, "Do you regret what you have done?" And he said, "Of course not. I'm going to get virgins in paradise now. Hoors in Jannat," he said in particular. Where did he get such an idea, David? That must be a misunderstanding of Islam.
Yeah, that's Quran and Hadith and commentaries.
Yep.
In fact, you got to Ibn Kathir's quotations on these passages. He'll be quoting Muhammad saying that Muslim men will be able to deflower 100 virgins per day, and in Jalalain he describes how Allah miraculously restores the virgin's virginity after you've deflowered her. Because the question, is Allah just going to keep creating new virgins? No. Every time you deflower a virgin, he's going to use his miraculous power to make her a virgin over again. So you could just keep deflowering 100 virgins per day forever, and you never run out of your virgins because Allah restores their virginity. It's interesting, look, all of Allah's power, and that's what he uses it for.
Yeah, stories like that make me think of some kid, 15 years old, thinking about what would be the best thing ever. What would I want heaven really to be like? And just ends up getting into the Islamic traditions. Terrible story also out of India. We have another story of rape. A Muslim man raped a Hindu girl, not his girlfriend, raped a Hindu girl at gunpoint. But as he was in the process of the rape, his sisters were actually present and recording the rape on video, and then used the existence of the video to try to blackmail her to convert to Islam.
And that's interesting, because you've seen the videotaping tactic used over and over again. It was used a lot with Sikh girls in the UK a while back, where you get a woman or a girl to have sex, or you rape her or something like that, and you record it. And in the UK, they were actually making them become their prostitutes. It was, hey, now we have video of you having sex. You become a prostitute for us, or we're going to show this to your families. And so the girls are being put in these awful situations where some of them just become prostitutes. It became such an issue that the Sikh community had to get together and say, guys, we need to, when our daughters come back when our daughters come to us and say that, they had sex and it was filmed and stuff, we need to not be judging them or condemning them over this stuff because Muslims are using that to turn them into prostitutes.
Hmm.
And so it became that's how big of an issue it became. And so yeah, but I mean that's a similar tactic that's been used all over the world. So there in India, yep, we raped you, now convert to Islam. We're going to share this footage of you being raped.
Yep. And so the sisters, it just sounds absolutely revolting that not only is there a rape, but that the sisters are present and they're approving of this behavior. But it all makes sense within the context of Islamic morality, which so devalues the non-Muslim and considers the non-Muslim to be like a vile animal, then this kind of treatment is completely justified.
Yeah, and I mean, that's part of Islam, taking captives and raping them and so on. And your only hope for ever getting out of that situation is to convert to Islam and hope that someone decides to marry you or something like that.
Hmm.